Yeah, I guess we could.
I mean, the public should know.
I agree.
Yeah, we can meet at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, while we're on that, everybody should be aware that instead of a work session on the 4th, I've been told it's going to be a regular
Yeah,
meeting.
that's true. Because we missed one in October, so rather than going for a whole month with just one meeting, we're going.
Because we're missing Columbus Day.
Yeah, we're missing Columbus Day, so.
There's nothing special on the
Yeah.
agenda.
So when would the next meeting be?
Next month.
Next
The
month.
regular meeting next Monday.
Instead of a business
Instead of
meeting.
work session.
Yeah, instead of a work session, we're having 2 regular meetings and 1 work session.
I see, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I thought I had it.
Anybody else?
I guess I'll throw one out there for you. Could you comment on the village's preference to litigation as opposed to binding arbitration, which the town has requested?
It's not binding and it's not preference, so the two words that
Well,
fit
it's
the
not binding.
situation.
This is how they've described it. Okay, so that would be your response?
Well,
Not binding?
Well, I mean,
Disagreement
well,
of interpretation?
the matter's in litigation. However, the general objection is this: an award from an arbitrator is not the same as a judgment from a court. Contested. And the feeling of the village board has been that we should litigate the matter in court so we can have finality, because the decision of the arbitrator would not be final because it still remains subject to court review. And the concern would be that the town would object to any application to confirm the arbitrator's award. So it wouldn't be the end of the process.
Thank you.
Thank you, yes.
Well, if you're going to refuse to go into arbitration, you're going to go to litigation, what's the cost going to be for the litigation as compared to the cost of the arbitration?
Well,
arbitration and then litigation, as opposed to, it would be cheaper.
I think the answer...
Because we're just doing litigation, not arbitration and then litigation. It would be significantly cheaper.
Let me answer this. I think the answer to that is it's unknown, because it's a factor of how much time it takes.
Of course.
I don't know, frankly, that there's a difference in time for arbitration and litigation, because the issues are the same issues. I know some have advanced the opinion that arbitration would be dramatically cheaper. I don't agree with that, because the issues and the proof that needs to be presented are the same.
Well, the difference might be time-wise, though. The court, you know, it's...
But not as the board said, not if we then have to fight it again in front of a judge in any event.
Freddie, we don't pay for the judge's time. We pay for David's time. When David has to put together a case...
And you would also pay for the arbitrator's time. People don't arbitrate for free, so you do have to pay for the arbitrator as
It
well.
still would take David the same amount of time to put together an arbitration case as it would to put together a
It's not
litigation.
David, it's the courts that move very slowly.
But you asked about cost.
Well, that's one factor, and time is another, and the fact that you need money also is another factor.
Yeah, but at what expense? Yeah.
Well,
If
The
there's,
double expense of arbitration, and then one side being dissatisfied with the result and fighting the...
usually in binding arbitration, I thought that they...
Not binding.
not binding, Ren.
There's nowhere that says
Not binding, that's the
arbitration.
problem.
That's the problem.
That is the problem. The arbitrator comes down, say, here's the determination, and the town could say no, because it is not binding.
And I think people are familiar with it in the labor context. This is not a PERB matter. This is not a public employment situation. So Article 75, the civil practice laws and rules, indicate how arbitration is handled in the state of New York in terms of contract dispute. And that arbitration award has to be confirmed by court.
We could go through all of that, they could, it's not binding, therefore the same position, say, we don't agree, we're not paying, and we are still stuck in the same place we are now. Just because we go to court,
Well,
and it gets settled.
Can it be binding arbitration or not?
For whatever it's worth, I'm just the messenger.
Wait, let's finish with one person before we start with another person, okay? I want to give you more than welcome to.
But they can't, here's the thing, they can't give up no party to an arbitration can give up their rights to challenge the arbitrator's award.
They can't give them up if they sign off on it?
No.
No.
I mean, they could still have the ability to object, even if, it's kind of like signing a general release for what happens in the future. It's not enforceable.
Anything else, Ray?
What about Judge Judy?
Oh, hold on.
Now, that's the other night.
John and Judge Judy.
Anything else, Ray? No, okay.
But they claim that's,
Hold on.
sorry.
Hold on a second. Now, you had something, John.
Well, David pretty well spoke to the issue that I was going to raise, not so much an issue, but acting as a messenger perhaps. Since we're doing these videos, we've been at all the meetings, and we've repeatedly heard the town board indicate that they would be happy to commit to binding arbitration.
No.
I understand what David is saying, that you can't sign away your rights, just for whatever it's worth. They have indicated that they would be willing to abide by and be bound by.
But they can't. So it's a really nice sell.
I'm just conveying.
They also indicated that they would be willing and bound by the current contracts on the two sewer districts, which they have not, so stuff that they can make their work. You had something, Mr. Hickok?
Yeah, it might seem a bit naive, but
What about all these courtroom, these TV shows, is the Judge Judy and stuff? These are binding arbitrations, right? Don't they?
I don't know, but the camera does that at 10 pounds, so I'm really not going to do it.
But I mean, the people that go on these shows are kind of,
They're about cars.
but I mean, it's naive for them to go on
the shows. Come on.
To go on the shows.
Exploited, just like in the reality.
But they're not judges, right? They're arbiters.
I have no idea. No,
Judge
they're public.
Judy is a judge.
They're publicity.
Yeah, but it says, it's pretty explicit right at the beginning of the show that you cannot appeal the decision of the arbiter.
We're not gonna go on Judge.
Yeah, but if it's the same arbitration law,
Neil, I'm going to cut you off there and just simply say it this way.
I'm asking you because you're attorneys. I don't know. I didn't go to law
I don't
school.
know the answer to either. Is
Yeah.
what law are they talking about? The law of the state of New York, the law of the state of California, the law of the state of Nevada? It can be different in every state.
I thought you were being facetious.
On the law.
A little bit of both.
I can't imagine that we would subject the people of the village of Goshen, the residents of Katy and Hamiltonian Park,
Or us, by the
to
way.
several hundred thousands of dollars at issue in front of Judge Judy.
No, of course not. But my point is that they refer to them as arbiters. They're not judges, right? And they explicitly state at the beginning and the end of the show.
All right, we're getting way off.
Wait, I have 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's what it says
Yes,
up here,
you're
right? Respectfully, yeah. I'm just asking for my own education. I just want to know. I didn't go to law school.
It's a TV show.
So yeah, it is a TV show, but they do
Not a real court.
exactly. But that's why they advise the people that go on the show that this is an arbiter. Whatever decision they make, you have no recourse. You have no.
Advice of counsel.
I got my
So what's the difference between that and this kind of arbitration?
Article 75 of the New York Civil Practice Laws and Rules, which require any arbitration award to be confirmed by the court. There has to be an application
Great, gotcha.
on notice that would confirm that award, and the opposing party has the ability to oppose that application.
Thank you.
There you go.
And just one more question, unrelated, if I may.
Sure.
Yeah. Again, just trying to educate myself. I didn't go to law school. How is it that this restrictive deed for the OBH Arden Hill Hospital campus is not a violation of antitrust laws?
That's a good question.
Well, I took antitrust my second year of law school, but I mean, that's generally where a business has a monopoly. It wouldn't be a monopoly situation. It's I'm conveying title to you. You agree to accept that title based upon certain restrictions. One of the restrictions be you're going to operate the property in a certain fashion. If you fail to do that, then the property reverts back to me. I wouldn't be monopolizing price or controlling everything, so I control the price like Walmart. I'm sorry.
You might want to pedal back.
No, I mean, the courts obviously scrutinize those kind of agreements. If I were to have a bed and breakfast and I sold it to someone, I would have a restrictive covenant that said that they couldn't open up, like you sold it, you couldn't open up a bed and breakfast in the next building. all right? But it would have to be a geographical limitation that was reasonable and a period of time that was reasonable. You can't do it for 100 years, but you can do it for a reasonable period of time in a